Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday carry people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker here, and continuing on with our look at the budget lineups of a lot of knives here. I decided to have a look at one of my favorite budget knives, one that's got, I think, absolutely fantastic steel. It's a really good looking knife. It carries really well. And it's smooth as HE double hockey sticks. Really nice, smooth blade. I like the looks. I like the feel. The fidget factor is strong with this one. It is the real steel G3 Puukko Duplex. And before we get into the knife thing, I gotta let you know here that I have a granddaughter over, and Papa had a boo-boo on the back of his hand, so Papa needed a Band-Aid, and she decided that the best Band-Aid for 6'3", 275-pound big Canucker Papa to have is a Trolls Princess Poppy Band-Aid. So I'm rather proud of that Band-Aid. So please don't make fun of me because I have a Poppy Band-Aid. All right. So let's go over this knife here a little bit here. I absolutely love this knife, and one of the big reasons I love this knife is the fact that it is a budget knife. It's not going to break the bank. It looks fantastic, carries really well, and the fidget factor and the smoothness with this knife is extremely strong here. She's got complete, just so smooth, very drop shut right out of the box. She's got some bearings in there too, as well as you can tell, and just an absolutely gorgeous knife. Now, this knife was designed by a fellow by the name of Msrp, who's actually a Polish knife designer. When I first heard the name, I thought for sure this guy was a Swede or a Finn or a Norwegian, but no, he's a Polak, and he's of Polish descent, and he loves designing knives, and he does an absolutely fantastic job doing it too as well. And you can see here, just ever so slightly, I'm not sure if you can read that, but just along the bottom there it says designed by Msrp, and what a wonderful blade this is. Now, this G3 Puukko Duplex comes in two different ways. So this is a duplex grind, which basically means that the blade is ground in two different ways. So you've got a fully flat ground right here, but then here you've got a little bit of a Scandi back here as well. So his blades in this particular iteration are actually CNC machined. They're not hand ground, so the tolerances on here are extremely tight, and the machine, whoever programmed it, did a fantastic job. Now, I've had this knife for quite some time, and I actually got this knife from a fella who you guys know, Jake, over at Canadian Cutting Edge. He was looking to get rid of some knives, and the one that I was really after, I was after the G5 Metamorph. I want a front flipper so bad, and I think that that's a really good looking knife too as well. Unfortunately, I missed out on that G5 Metamorph very just by minutes, and he said, well, I've got this other real steel Puukko Duplex, and he said you might want to give that a try. It's a real fun knife, and he was absolutely right. Great blade here, and I'm actually quite happy that I did pick this up. Let's go over some size comparisons real quick here before we get into the rest of the knife. Of course, we've got my lucky loonie here as well. If you're Canadian, you know what a loonie is and how big it is. Alright, so we've got that size here, so let's compare it to, of course, the big daddy of everyday carry is the Paramilitary 2. You can see that it's just, so close to the same size as the Paramilitary 2. Perhaps just a smidge shorter. Then, of course, we've got another great little blade here, which is your Dragonfly 2 in the ZDP 189. And you can see that it's got some size on that too as well. So that gives you an idea of the size. And you can see that it's a really thin knife. Part of the reason this is called, I guess, G3 is actually, I'm not sure what the 3 stands for, but G stands for gentleman. So this is a gentleman's folder. So it actually carries really thin. So it fits in your pocket really well. It's got the flipper tab here, which is fantastic design. Ouch! You can light switch it, or you can actually, button press it. It just very, very rarely fails to fire and lock up with a resounding, nice little click. And as a fellow knife reviewer, Big Daddy Nick Shabazz would say, it's got a little bit of a pocket pecker. That's my Nick Shabazz. So it's that's why I'm doing knife reviews and not doing imitations, because my imitations suck. All right, really, really, really like the flipper action. I'm absolutely, I'm not gonna say head over heels in love, but maybe that's a little bit strong. But I really, really like flipper knives. I'm a OCD, but also I'm a ADD type of guy. I always got to be doing something with my hands or tapping my foot, and having a flipper knife is one of the ways I deal with my fidgety, and this is a great fidget factor blade. So let's go over this here real quick here. It is a frame lock knife coming in at a blade length of 3.54 inches, so 3.5 inches, which, as everybody knows, I think is the absolute perfect size for everyday carry. And the blade steel is actually 14C28N, which is a Sandvik steel, and a budget steel, but I think one of the best budget steel offerings that's out there. Sandvik steel comes from, I do believe it's Sweden, and a really extremely clean steel. And the manufacturing process of Sandvik, I guess, is one of the best in the world, which is why you get such a great steel for a budget price. And I guess if it's heat treated really well too as well, it rivals, some of the more expensive budget steels like VG10, 440HC. It kicks butt on those. So if you want to know the exact cutting numbers, go over and see Cedric Nada Gear Channel, and I'm sure that he's tested this 14C28N with his twisted sisal rope. But so far, it takes an extremely sharp edge. I haven't put this on. I've got a KME sharpening system, and I make pretty much everything hair popping, hair whittling sharp. And this one here, I just basically put on my. I put it on my Spyderco ceramic stones, and I was able to get this hair popping, hair whittling sharp just by hand. The 14C28N takes a wicked edge, really, really stain resistant, and it's fairly tough steel too as well. But for a budget lineup, I think it is one of the best out there. Now the open length here is a little over 8 inches, 8.15 inches, and the weight on this here is 5 ounces. And I would imagine that it's, a little on the, for the size of the knife, it's a little on the heavy side. It's not heavy, I don't think, to put in your pocket, and heavy to EDC. Just for the thinness of the blade and the thinness of the handle, it's heavy for that size. And it's probably because the entire thing is stainless steel too as well. So you've got the stainless steel blade with the stainless steel liners. And the liners have been, they've been milled out on the inside, but you know what? If this was made of, I would say, if this was made of titanium or aluminum, I think we would be talking about a 3.5 ounce weight. But because we're talking about stainless steel, we're at 5 ounces, and I'm not going to really totally hammer that because of it. I think it carries really, really well. It carries great in the pocket, and it is such a fun knife to flick open and closed. And it also, with this fully flat ground blade, goes through cardboard. It's a wicked slicer. Now the blade thickness is 0.14, so it's a little on the thick side, but that gives you some wicked strength. I think this is a really robust gentleman's knife. I wouldn't be afraid to take this camping for the weekend, nor would I be afraid to pop this in my pocket if I was heading to a buddy's wedding and I was in a tuxedo, because I think it's that nice, and it carries that nice. Now it is a frame lock flipper. Now I would suppose one of the knocks that I have on this knife is the fact that the stainless steel handle, although it is textured, you can't really see the texturing here. It's almost like a really, really fine CNC machined finish, but I'd say it's a little on the slippery side. I mean, if you had any sort of oil or grease on your hands, it'd be a heck of a time holding on to this knife. But I mean, I like things that are wicked smooth like that. I'm a very tactile guy, so I don't mind that. I mean, if I'm going to be in a situation where I'm dealing with, say, carving up an animal with a little bit of blood or cutting something where it's going to be oily and greasy, I would probably pick a different knife than a gentleman's carry folder. So, something with, something like this with some G10 or even the FRN, that would do a little bit better in a sporting application. But because this is a gentleman's knife, I think it's absolutely fine. Now you've got yourself a clip here, and it's just a tip up right-handed carry only. Actually, you know what? Probably I've never had. No, I would say it's a left or right. It's an ambidextrous carry, but it's only tip up. Totally fine with that. Looks like we've got kind of a blue anodized clip on it, and you know what? I think this clip is absolutely fine. I've had no problems with it coming out of my pocket. And, it's not extremely deep carry. That may be something that you might want to do, get a deep carry clip on there. But I think it's a good looking knife, a good looking clip with the blue. It's worn a little bit, but this knife here is a few years old and it is holding up extremely, extremely well. Now, would I recommend this knife? Absolutely. Now, I do believe the MSRP on this knife is $105. You can pick this up in Canada, I do believe, for somewhere around, I'm going to say it's, high 70s, early 80s, somewhere around there. And in the States, I think you're looking at somewhere around the 50 or 60 bucks, maybe a touch more. Still in the budget lineup, you're sub $100. And I think your money is well spent if you put this in your pocket. Now, I did mention here that this was the G3 Puukko Duplex. There is another knife. I guess it would be a brother from another mother. It has same design handle, same designer O-step hell, but the blade is actually a Scandi grind instead of this duplex grind. So even more, I think, woodsy. That Scandi grind is really good for breaking for feather sticks and stuff like that. Even though you're not really going to take this knife camping for the weekend. It still has the ability with the Scandi grind to do that if you decide. If you're sitting in your living room and you want to make a feather stick while you're watching TV, well, if you've got that Scandi grind, you can damn well go right ahead if you want. All right, scale of 1 to 10, big Canucker score. I'm going to give this knife. I'm going to give this knife an 8 out of 10. I think it is a wonderful looking knife. I think it's a great performing knife with the duplex grind on it. I think it goes in your pocket and it carries really well. The fidget factor is fantastic. For freak sakes, it's wonderful. The only knock I'm going to give on it is I think it's a touch heavy at 5 ounces for the size of it, and I think it's a little bit slippery and smooth. So those are the couple of knocks on it to knock it down to an 8 out of a 10. All right. Well, you know what? I want to say thanks for stopping by and having a look at this with me. It's wonderful that you guys have been pushing the thumbs up and subscribing. I can't say enough for the guys out there who've given me the shout outs to help me with my channel. You guys I've been getting some emails from some fellas letting me know what I could do a little bit better, and I appreciate it so much. You guys don't realize how much I appreciate and how much you guys are keeping me sane. I'm pretty much housebound with my surgery, and you guys have been a wonderful addition to my life. So thank you so much, everybody who's helped me along this way in this short lifespan of this channel. Now, if you like this, please subscribe, give me the thumbs up, and please leave some comments down there. Now, in the age of the Corona-19 virus, please stay safe out there. We're not over it yet, and I know everybody's starting to lose their mind a little bit from being, housebound. But listen to the experts, practice the social distancing, and remember that we're not out of the woods yet, and so please stay safe. All right. Now, this is your big Canucker coming back, saying goodbye and saying adios. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.